Whenever people ask me how old I am, typically they are pretty surprised by what I say. I could be 21, I could be 30, I could be mid 40s, who knows? So here's something interesting. I pulled up a few photos of me when I was 21, 22. And what's kind of fascinating and interesting is I do look beautiful and young, but you'll see in some of these photos, I was actually really like funny, but also really serious about being beautiful. And one of the things that I've realized over time, this one's pretty cute, 21, 22, is that part of what the spirit of our youth and childlike nature has more to do with is how we express ourselves. I've come to realize that also, like, when we as humans feel more dense or more heavy, or we're like locked into our age and whatever like mental grid that holds us in, I think that can imprint our physicality and imprint our biology with our belief systems, how we feel about ourselves, and also specifically how we identify with what the age we are is supposed to look like or feel like. And I swear I know this for a fact, because when I was younger and also dealing with health issues about 8 years ago, I was in such a physical struggle of being heavier, and I actually looked a little bit older than I do now. And part of it was because I felt dense in my mind. I felt heavy in my spirit. I felt really hopeless. I was struggling in a lot of ways around things, and struggle is normal. Being human, there's a lot of challenges. But what I've come to realize is that it's how we move through them and how we choose to get to the other side that can shape us more than anything. And so, for example, I saw a photo of someone I went to high school with, and they looked 15 to 20 years older than me. And it surprised me so much, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I also identify with when I was younger. Like, I had to choose actually, like, how do I want to live my life? Do I want to feel like I can be playful, light, or do I just want to take things serious all the time? Because there was a time when I took so much serious, my career, my finances. I didn't feel beautiful in my body, so I was harsh in my mind. I was like, I could be a negative Nancy about things. And I realized that energy actually is heavier for our body, and I think ages us. Now, this is just the way I feel about it and the way I believe in it. But when it comes to age, sometimes it's such a sensitive topic for women or for men, because we don't want to be like looked down for being less cool, or looked down for being less beautiful or less desirable. And there is this kind of story around women, when they get older, they're less desirable. It sucks and it's stupid. And that's also like, why can't we grow in our maturity and have like stronger values and more integrity, and like, while being fit, strong, sexy, romantic, and powerful? And I remember as like a singer, when I was 13 years old, I was told by this like label that I was working with that when I turned 18, I would be less desirable in the music marketplace. And when I turned 21, there's a chance that my career was over. And I realized I feel like I can feel the emotion of the story and how it imprinted me, because after the age of 13, every year on my birthday, I might have like kind of acted like I was celebrating, but sometimes I just felt so suffocated by the sadness and the loneliness that I was 1 year older to my demise. I was 1 year closer to either making it or never being valuable ever again. Because during the time when I was like pop stars, it was like, this is a little beyond my era, but like Britney Spears and the Aguileras, these young pop stars, this is what, in the world of what was cool in music, was what people cared about. Young, vital, fresh off the press, in your teens. And once you get past that, for some reason, you're no longer valuable. And this is what I grew up with. And I remember one time I finally was able to see myself, just how sad I was on my birthday. A lot of times I would cry on my birthday because I'm like, I'm a failure. I'm a fucking failure. And yeah, it was my little girl music dream. And I think that that's another part of my heartbeat that feels like I haven't succeeded yet in music based off of what the criteria of success looks like to me. And I actually, this is funny, I've actually never, I don't think I've shared this ever before, but I notice that sometimes if I have a conversation with myself, I'll realize that I wonder if a part of me wants to stay young and forever youthful, because like the dream that I had so strong when I was 12, 13 has not come true in the way that I see a dream coming true, that I just want to hold on to my youth and believe in it and believe in timelessness so that I can be of value and be beautiful and be someone that could be seen as like, oh, she's nice to look at, versus this thing sometimes when you get older, it's like, oh, she's an oldie. Now, I have heard some musicians have broken this paradigm, and I'm like, is it Sierra? Is that her name? There are some musicians that have broken this code, and they're in their 40s or even later, and they're doing that. But I realize that there is this pressure put on people, and especially on women. It's like, once you get older, you're less valuable. And I'm here to rewrite that story through my own embodiment, through my own belief, through my own expression, that not only can you become more beautiful with age, but you can also become more wise. And not only can you get through to the other side of being like, well, all these, things that I learned, these conditions, the cultural norms, all these things that like make us think a certain way, if you just continuously ruffle it off like water on a duck's feather, like, well, that's actually not my belief. That's not my belief. I think the more that I'll just speak for myself, the more that I've been able to see a belief or see an imprint or see a pattern that is keeping me heavy, dense, aging, or in negative thinking, I just choose to remind myself that what if I can change it? What if getting older is not a curse? What if it can be a gift? What if part of the reason why aging seems so negative is partly what we've been trained, not because of the truth? So it's a bit cheeky around the song Forever 21 and being forever youthful, but if you are curious and interested about having a song that could imprint a positive message to you, please go listen to it. I am going to be amplifying this energy right now because I believe not only for me that we deserve to feel young in our hearts, young in our bodies, young in our spirits, expressed in our being, childlike in nature, and to also bring that into our romantic relationships and even to our friendships, even into the way we experience work, that this song is here as a message that we all deserve to feel that. So go check it out, and thank you all for listening.